Guys, one of the most striking aspects of Game of Thrones and the books, A Song of Ice and Fire, are the dragons, those gigantic, terrifying creatures deeply tied to magic. You surely remember Daenerys' dragons, Drogon, Rhaegal and Viserion, but before them there were many others. Today we're going to talk exactly about those dragons of the past. Who were they? Who commanded them? What were their powers and sizes? Let's dive in. How are you doing? This is Denny here. Dragons are extremely important creatures in the Game of Thrones universe. It was with them that the Targaryen family, originally from ancient Valyria, conquered Westeros and ruled the Seven Kingdoms for 300 years. Even after that, when everyone thought dragons were extinct, they returned to play a central role in the story. Dragons have a deep connection to the magic of this world, to the point where it's said that when the last dragon died, summers became shorter, winters longer and harsher, and magic weakened overall. Although their origin remains a mystery, there are many legends trying to explain where they came from. Legendary dragons? There are at least two dragons that are part of ancient legends. One is Urex, who is said to have lived during the Age of Heroes, thousands of years before the events of Game of Thrones. Legend has it he was killed by a warrior named Serwyn of the Mirror Shield. Another is Naga, a female dragon believed to be the first sea dragon, resembling a massive sea serpent. According to legend, she was defeated by the Grey King, an ancestor of the Greyjoys. The Targaryen conquest. When talking about dragons in Game of Thrones, we cannot forget the Targaryens. This family came from the legendary Valyria, which was destroyed by catastrophic natural events. Before that, they had already settled on Dragonstone on the eastern coast of Westeros. In fact, the Targaryens were not very powerful in Valyria, nor were their dragons the largest. Other Valyrian dragons were much bigger and more dangerous. One example is Terax, ridden by Gennara Belaris, a Valyrian woman who explored Sothorios, south of Essos. Initially, the Targaryens brought 5 dragons to Dragonstone. Among them, only Balerion the Black Dread survived for a long time. He was the largest dragon known in Targaryen history, with black scales and fire so hot that his flames were also dark. Balerion was so massive that when he flew over a city, he would block out the sun. Balerion was ridden by Aegon Targaryen, who, along with his sisters, Rhaenys, who rode Meraxes, and Visenya, who rode Vhagar, conquered Westeros. They ruled the Seven Kingdoms and fused the swords of their defeated enemies into the Iron Throne, the Dance of the Dragons. During the first 100 years of Targaryen rule, new dragons were born, and some of the older ones, like Balerion, who lived nearly 200 years, died. Shortly after Balerion's death, the Dance of the Dragons began, a civil war among the Targaryens, which will be depicted in House of the Dragon. At the time, there were 20 living dragons, including Vhagar, Vermithor, Silverwing, Aelys, Caraxes, Syrax, and many others. Each faction of the Targaryen family had its own dragons. Additionally, there were wild dragons like Grey Ghost, Sheepstealer, and the Cannibal, which were massive and never tamed. Comment if you want to see the complete story of the Dance of the Dragons here on the channel, The End of the Dragons. The Dance of the Dragons was catastrophic for the Targaryens, leading to the death of most dragons. In the end, only 4 survived, 2 wild and 2 tamed. The dragons born afterward were smaller and weaker until the last one died, sealing the species' extinction. The skulls of the great dragons adorned the Red Keep until Robert Baratheon removed them after ascending to the throne. Daenerys and the Rebirth of Dragons. Centuries later, Daenerys Targaryen, exiled in Essos, received 3 dragon eggs as a wedding gift. Against all odds, she managed to hatch them in Khal Drogo's funeral pyre, bringing Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion into the world. And so, the legend of dragons came back to life with Daenerys, setting the stage for epic battles. If you enjoyed learning more about the dragons of Game of Thrones, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more epic content. See you next time.